You live from Transcorp Hilton here in Abuja, where the Nigerian Economic Summit Group's meeting is on day 3. Yes, it started on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and very soon the closing session will begin. Today, topics that were discussed and discussions are still on. Part of it is charting a new course for seamless public-private partnership. We also had issues or discussions around transition from scarcity to security, and we also have strengthening the private sector's role in advancing the child well-being in Nigeria, tackling hunger. All of these issues have been raised today. Discussions are going on in smaller rooms, while in the bigger room here we also have discussions on all around achieving inclusive across the continent. But here we're going to be bringing you up to speed with discussions falling out from that gathering inside the hall here. And I am having with me to start the discussion today the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. You know him very well, Mr. Davidson Alaribe. Thank you so much. It's really good to have you, Honorable President. It's good to have you live in Abuja.
Thank you very much, my good friend. I'm very pleased to be here.
Okay, I think we should start this conversation around the NESG first, which we are at their event at the moment. Yeah. A lot of discussions around the economy. Just last week, ICANN also had their own conference. These conferences, they are coming back to back. How do we make sure that these conferences are not just talk shops before we go into some of the topics raised at this gathering?
Position papers are being lined up, and that will be forwarded to the government. And we've appealed to them that it shouldn't be in the file, that they shouldn't put this in the cupboard. So they should bring this out, exhume them, discuss it, set up a small committee to review this and implement these suggestions. We are Nigerians. Nigeria has the largest number of professionals in the whole of Africa. So a farmer, children of a very great farmer, they don't lack farm products. So why should the Nigerian government lack position papers? The major problem is the political will to implement them. So I have said this severally, and I'm still saying now, the politicians should leave the running of the economy for Nigerians. In the private sector, things work very well. Why is it that we can't replicate that in the public sector? So we should all do that. The issue is that the things we want to do, government should allow professionals and the experts to run them. From there, we can move on. When it is politics, we allow the politicians to play politics. When it's about running the economy of this country, then allow economic managers to do so. Everyone, it will be a win-win. The politicians will win in their own game. So the private sector and the economic managers will also win at their own stadium. Then at the end, Nigerians will rejoice.
I think it's a good way for us to start this conversation, Mr. President. Now, let's look at yesterday. I'm sure you've seen inflation came out again, and it's already again on the high side after 2 months of decline. Now, let's look at our economy and these reforms being instituted by government. The IMF and World Bank came, the representative of World Bank said it clear that we need to follow the course. What do you make of that submission vis-a-vis what is on ground?
Nigerians should put their own model. The IMF and the World Bank will not come here and tell us what to do. We'll follow them anyway, but we should Nigerianize our policies. The firewood you have in your village, that's what you cook with. Don't import firewood from any other village because the terrain is different, the citizens are different. What you do is different from that. We respect the IMF and the World Bank, but we have enough Nigerians that will tell us how to revamp and recover this economy.
We have enough economists that can do that job for us.
Yes, we have all the professionals, economists, administrators, we have managers, engineers, even the doctors that will do medical tourism. We have enough teachers, professors. They are all Nigerians. So but we have our national team. It's Nigerians that play. Do we import foreigners to come and play for the Super Eagles? Nigerians have won major competitions, even with a Nigerian coach. We should Nigerianize our thoughts. We should Nigerianize our actions. Also, Nigerians should eat what we produce. I said it during the ICANN conference that the way we dress, you can also say I'm in suit. Somebody will say, physician, heal thyself. I said that after my tenure as ICANN president, the Diamond president, I will start wearing native clothes from 2nd of June 2025, if the Lord tarries. That's what I would do. We go to Napoli to go and buy suits. If Nigerians travel abroad, like I said, they are the only ones, they will say go and rebag at the airport because the ticketing officers want to help you. The officers at the airport want to help you. They say go and rebag. The way you put it makes it to weigh so much. But when you go and rebag, it will be okay so that it can go. Why must we buy everything that is made abroad? Why can't we wear the adire that is made in Abeokuta?
Local content.
Local content. If you go to the north, you go to the southeast, go to the south-south, we have things that we produce. The shoes they produce in Aba, they will go and buy the stamps and say made in Italy so that people can buy it. But if you say it's made in Aba, when your friends see you wearing it, they say you are playing in local league. Why must we buy Aba made? If you are wearing a suit and it's made in Aba, they will say, why don't you buy the one made in Italy? We have become so hungry. We are hungered to eat what is made abroad.
Let's move on. We're talking about a secured society, particularly as it affects agriculture. We know that security and how it's impacting agriculture is not something that everyone is happy about. So what do you make of this efforts of, let me say, also by government now trying to address that? Because food inflation is the highest when we look at the breakdown of our inflation figures.
Well, the farmers are having a very rough with the herdsmen. Government should sit down and see what we can do. We have vast acres of land in the north. What do we do? What can we do? They are bringing all of them to the south. They are struggling with the farmers. If the farmers challenge them, there will be a fight, and somebody must lose, or somebody must lose something, must lose somehow. So the government should ensure that there's security. We have our people. Nigerians went to Sierra Leone, they went to Liberia and restored peace. Each time you go to Sierra Leone or Liberia, you say, oh, you're in Nigeria. Nigerians tried for us. Nigerian government tried for us. So why can't we see what we can do and ensure that there's peace and security in this country? Government should, I know it's not easy, but government should study the situation and see what could happen so that there will be peace. If there's no peace, the farmers cannot go.
True.
People will call you and say, look, our parents, they've evacuated them to Abuja or to Lagos. So if all of us continue to live in Abuja and Lagos, then the war will come to Abuja and Lagos because we will not have food. At a point, people will also be tempted to go back to Abuja, to go back to the farm. Then there will be war everywhere. So government needs to look at the issue of security. We have so many generals. We have so many intelligent officers. When they go for peacekeeping abroad, Nigerian officers perform better. Why can't we perform well here? Government should also look at the issue of funding. And when you look at it, the money being given to them, in most cases, when you make investigations, you discover that this money doesn't get to these soldiers. How can you keep these soldiers? You are not paying them well. They are not better equipped. No country goes to the World Cup with second 11. When the bandits are well equipped, then you are sending these ones with local guns. It can't. There's no way. So there must be, we must match them with that firepower. And when money is being released for security and for security purposes, government should ensure that it is being used. And if anybody is being found guilty of having misappropriated funds, there should be a special court to try them. The regular courts are filled with technicalities, and people will continue to loot. Because before you know it, the judicial system will exempt them. It will exonerate them, and we are back to square one. If we put up very strict measures, at a point, even if you say when you steal so much money, you'll be fired. Nigerians would, that's the only thing that can stop. But if I steal 2 billion, I will use 500 million to fight the system. Then I go back with 1.5 billion. I'll be giving chieftaincy titles. Then I'll be a big boy, and everyone will respect me.
Quite funny, but it's a serious issue, really, I must say. Now, role of accountants now, specifically, I'm coming to you now. The role of chartered accountants, let me be specific now, in economic building and economic development. Many say that accountants sure have a role. We're talking about money here. How do you think, how have they fared so far, and what more should we be expecting from institutes like ICANN, What are you doing to check excesses of some that are not doing what is right?
Well, in terms of the role of accountants, we have quite a lot to do, and we have been doing it. It's for the government to listen to us. Even the small and medium-scale enterprises, we always tell them, you must keep your books. Let's see what you are doing so that you can pay the appropriate taxes. But most traders don't want to pay tax. They go to the tax office, collude with them. They will issue tax clearance certificates to them. But in advanced countries, every business has a tax consultant, has an accountant. Why can't we do it that way? So many, the economy is being driven by small and medium-scale enterprises. That is it. The economy is being driven by that. And these people should learn how to keep books. They should also learn how to pay the appropriate taxes. The established companies, they don't have any problem in doing that. The major problem is in the small and medium-scale enterprises. And also the individuals that do businesses. They say they won't pay taxes because they don't see what government is doing with it. Two wrongs do not make a right. Pay your taxes first. Let's hold the government accountable. Then the government should also look at conducive environment. So accountants were there, we're ever ready. We've been providing support for both the government and the private sector, and that's what we've been doing. There is no business that doesn't require the services of an accountant. So we do that. It's like every human being must need a doctor.
True.
So accountants were there to ensure that things go on very, very well. But it's for the individuals, the organizations, and the government to cooperate. When the taxes are being paid, government should tell us what they're doing with it. The citizens should also pay the appropriate taxes, not minding what government is doing with it. So the moment there's an equilibrium, everyone will play his own part. Then government should also occasionally hold town hall meetings to tell the citizens what is happening. Like the issue of what is happening in the economy now. I've said it during the ICANN conference that the government should set up an economic recovery team. This committee should come and tell, it should encompass everyone. The traders, professionals, teachers, religious leaders, traditional leaders, students, everyone. These people should be selected based on merit. Anyways, there are bodies, the organization that will select them. And when they do the job, the government should not dump them. They should not dump their suggestion. It's not that they should set up another committee to review it, another committee that will review it. We have so many. The Rosanya report is still being debated. When this committee is set up and the report being sent to government, government may set up maybe a small committee to review it. They should implement it. That has even taken the weight off government because they say what Nigerians has agreed, that's what we've implemented. So nobody will blame you because everybody has participated. But when you continue to treat cancer with aspirin, the patient will not recover. You can't treat AIDS with aspirin. So nothing will happen. There should be a correct drug for a particular ailment.
And that's what should be used for that particular ailment. Almost finally, now before I let you go, Mr. President, one of the sub-themes here is igniting innovation and digital evolution. Now, technology is where we are. Of course, that's what it is. And I can see you nodding already at the role technology plays in financial space, in accounting, and of course in the entire economy. What are you doing also at ICANN to further make sure that all members key into technological advancements available across the board?
All our members are computer literate. For you to be inducted, that's what we call computer literacy. That was being done before, but now everyone knows because you have form. Everything is being done online. So if you don't know that, there's no way you fill the form. And it's not what somebody will feel for you.
Yes.
So we do that now. That computer literacy is what it is. And anything we do, going for our conferences, everywhere, whatever you do, when you pick your phone, you complete everything. Your certificate is done online. Anything we do in ICANN now is online. If you do any program, you can even access the conference we finish. I've seen my own certificate.
Wow.
You do that online, so you don't need the manual system is going off. Our exams are being assessed online, on-screen marking. Before, ICANN will spend millions of naira to engage assessors to mark the question papers. But now, what I can do is that when the exams are finished,
yes,
there is a company that will come and do the scanning. They will do that scanning under a very strict security posture. When that is being done, so these things are being done through technology, and papers are released to these examiners for them to mark. If you mark, I may check what you have done. The gentleman there will also check. About not less than 3 people will check what you have marked to ensure that you have done it well.
Yeah.
Having done that, it goes to the chief examiners, who will also do their own checking. So the results are released in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Before, it takes 2-3 months before the results are released. So that's to show you that technology, and very soon we have to start, we are very much preparing to ensure that the exams are written online.
Wow.
We want to do that. So everything, IT is the game now. If so you are not
keying into the information technology world now, that's what you're saying?
Yes, that's what it is. Anything you are doing, you do it online. Most of our meetings, council meetings, in the next 2 days, we'll be having a council meeting. It will be done online. Whether in US, UK, in Canada, yeah, in Morocco, you join online. So all our meetings are hybrid. So ICANN is, we are online. We operate online and real time.
That's a good one. Before I wrap up this now, you know what is happening outside the world, geopolitical issues that we cannot ignore. Russia and Ukraine war is still on, it's still affecting us one way or the other. Nigeria is now isolated. We're looking at this geopolitical tension and all of that. What is your outlook for maybe Nigeria's economy now, Africa in general?
And that is why Nigeria should look inwards, so that most of the things we eat should be produced here. Because if you keep on relying on imported products, the wars will affect it. But the world powers, including the international organizations, African Union, the United Nations, they should also see how to bring these countries to the table. Because no war ends in the war front. It must end at the round table. If not, they will continue to fight. But for Nigeria, we should believe in ourselves. We should have an economic blueprint. The National Planning Commission should be able to work independent of government. The government should not appoint the chairman and key runners in the National Planning Commission. When a road is getting bad, it's not for somebody to come and say, I will build this road. No. If we have a National Planning Commission, like the FEMA now, they should look at all the roads. If a road is being built now, there should be a lifespan. When that is approaching, they have to see what to do so that road will repair. It's not when the road is bad. You tell me somebody is coming, I'm going to repair this road, I'm going to do this. That is not it. So we should have a National Planning Commission that should adopt progressive planning so that we know what to do everywhere. Our refineries have not been working.
Yes. And
we have spent so much money. Look at the Delta Steel, Osogbo Steel Reeling Mill, and all those places. What has happened? Government should set up a task force to also look into all those ones. The textile factories are gone. Unilever, most organizations are leaving Nigeria. So what is our problem? Can't Nigeria have a vehicle manufacturing plant? Can't we have an airline? Nigerian Airways, Africa's leading airline. Where are they? So the issue is for us to sit down and have a planning commission or a planning team that will think of what should happen to this country. They are not going to, the effects may not materialize in 2, 3, 4 years, but it may take quite some time. But with progressive planning, we get to where we are going. So the government should sit down, have a think tank that will put up those things, short-term plan, mid-term plan, then long-term plan. Then we'll revive this economy. We have all it takes, both human and material resources. But it's job for the government to articulate. Leave politics aside, economic management aside. The moment we're able to do that, we'll move on.
Finally, we've talked about Nigeria's economy. Well, many will argue that all of this didn't happen overnight. it happened with years of underinvestment, years of ignoring, borrowing, and all of that. And they will say, this might not be able to just change overnight. So that is also one argument on one angle of it. I don't know how that comes to you.
Well, the issue is that when something is happening in a village, the traditional ruler will call a village meeting, and whatever is in agreed, they should implement it. We have a Rossenia report. We have a committee, the CONFAB. Where are their reports? Has it been implemented? No, we should look at it. Even if when a snake is being killed, they should be happy that a snake is killed, irrespective of who killed it. But some people will say, I'm not the one that killed the snake, so we won't take it home. Let's throw it. Let's leave it in the bush so that it will decay.
All right. It's a good way to live it. I must thank you so much. I have been speaking to the president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Mr. Davidson Aleribe, a friend of the house. Thank you so much. It is really good to have you here.
Thank you, my good friend.
All right,
I
then.
appreciate it.
All right,
Okay.
then. All right, then. Well, before we go on a break, let us tell you that the organizers of the 30th edition of the Nigerian Economic Summit are taking place in Abuja. Say the main reason for focusing on economic growth is to enable full participation of all stakeholders and, of course, a level of public and private sector holders to foster stronger collaboration. Speakers on the sidelines at sessions said that this providing an enabling business environment by government and other key players is the way forward to get the desired growth. Take a listen.
This year particularly, we're talking about growth. We want to see how, as a nation, we can make that leap forward. Our economy has been in a difficult place, so to say. And if you look at the summit from last year we were talking to the government when they had just come in to say, well, we want to know what your plans are for the next 4 years. And we heard some of those things last year where we had the president at the opening and he told us about his renewed hope agenda and all of that. But for us at NESG, what we do is we take what government has said, we distill it, we dissect it, and then we ask the questions, how does this benefit private sector? Because at the end of the day, the nation cannot thrive without private sector. Right, and we need an enabling environment for private sector. So the main thing we would like to see out of this summit is that collaboration for growth between public and private sector.
What has happened in the last 17, 18 months is that we're trying to see how we can ramp up food production and we can make it readily available. But this has been constrained by the high cost of, one, inputs, two, high cost of energy, power, and to a large extent logistics as well because of high cost of fuel. So those are things that have compounded it and made sure that food inflation is at an all-time high. Though it's reducing now because of harvest, but I think we need to look at everything in a more holistic manner so that we don't get pressured by cyclical shocks.